Well, hey everybody, I'll go through a safety check first with this to make sure there's no bullets in the cylinder. Okay. What I wanted to do is make a video about cleaning the gun and putting a new set of grips on it. The problem with this gun right now for me is when I put my fingers on it, because I'm a larger person. The first problem is the index finger is right against the trigger guard, and my pinky will not go on the grip at all, which is okay. I mean, it works out. You hold it tight, it's fine, but it would be better to actually have it on the grip. This is a SP101 by Ruger. It's a 357 Magnum. We were talking recently about going to the Northwest US, and I had this gun already. I bought it about 15 years ago. But I think for backpacking or hiking, it'd be best to have a big animal protection gun. And some of the areas we plan to go to have grizzlies, and there's always black bears pretty much in the entire U.S. But I wanted to have something effective that I could bring with me if needed, and I already had this gun. It's not a bad choice. So, and well, if you look online and social media, you'll see a lot of people say that 357 isn't really adequate, or I would say barely adequate for larger animals. There's a lot of videos I looked into, and it's actually, if you get the right kind of ammo, it's actually a pretty effective round. They make, especially in 357 for some reason, I've noticed that they make a lot of higher grain, high velocity rounds. Higher grain, maybe like the 180 to 200 range for grains for the size of the bullet. And some are designed specifically for higher velocity for larger game. So it's really not a bad choice. This round will kill a larger animal. But it's also important, like I was just saying, to get the right kind of ammo for what you want to do. If you're out hiking and you're afraid of a grizzly bear, you don't necessarily want a lower grain hollow point that may expand and not really penetrate into the animal. So this, like I said, this specific hunting rounds are designed for better penetration, get down, and in this case, if I'm hiking, better chance of staying alive. Just go through the anatomy of a revolver here really quick. Some of the basic parts here. But this is the end of the barrel. It's called the muzzle. That's true for just about any gun or any gun. Obviously the trigger guard. This is the hammer and the grip. And this is the cylinder that the rounds go into. This is the cylinder release. And inside, well, first you have the extracting rod. When you load the gun, you put the rounds into here. And after you shoot, to get them out of the gun, use this extracting rod. And let's see what else we have here. In the revolver, you'll have a forcing cone, because the cylinder and the barrel are separate. In a automatic or semi-automatic gun, you'll have the round actually go into the barrel, the end of the barrel, and then the firing pin will hit that and it'll come out. With a revolver, these are separate, and there's a very, very small gap between the cylinder and that forcing cone. But this forcing cone right here will get first of all, get very dirty after shooting the gun. And also with that gap, you have to be careful, is that when shooting, and I've learned this the hard way, showing people how to shoot a handgun, that because of that gap and the bullet coming out is, so much energy at this point, you will get gases and even little flakes of lead that will shoot out from the sides. So if you're shooting with somebody, you want to make sure yourself or anybody else isn't on the side of the gun there. Will get hit by any of that. It doesn't tickle, and if it did hit you in the eye, it wouldn't be a good thing. Well, I guess here, I don't know what you can see. Right here is the firing pin. I'll show you. And again, I really have to clean this. I bought this, I think, around 2005. And I got less than 200 rounds in it, I think. And I haven't shot it probably, I hate to say it, probably haven't shot it in 10 years. It's really due for a deeper cleaning and oiling. But I've noticed now that pulling this back, that was actually kind of difficult. It was a lot easier in the past. I probably had to put 20-25 pounds of pressure on that to get the hammer to move back. But whatever it is, it's a lot harder to pull back than it used to be. So I'm going to get inside. I mean, a lot of the mechanisms typically for a Revolver are inside the grip here, so we're going to take it apart and take a look at it. But I want to show you here anyways, getting back to what I was saying. And I'll probably have to take some still photos and put them in the video so you can actually see what I'm looking at. In the old days, the hammer would often have the firing pin right on it. It would protrude from here. And it would come down, and when you pulled the trigger, it would come down and strike the round in the cylinder. And now, Ruger may have been the first, but for a while, I don't think anybody's putting the firing pin on the hammer anymore. They use what's called a transfer bar right here. So the hammer doesn't actually hit the firing pin directly. And this transfer bar is only up by the firing pin when the hammer is pulled back, when the gun's ready to shoot. And what that does is, normally when the Revolver is not cocked, that transfer bar will be down below, and the hammer and the firing pin are not in physical contact anymore. And it's called a transfer bar of safety, because what used to happen with the hammers that had the firing pin on them, if somebody dropped it, that firing pin would be almost in contact, very close to the round. What would happen is it would come down, and there would be enough of an impact sometimes to have the gun discharge. If somebody happened to drop the gun, or, I guess the possibilities are endless. It's a lot safer to have the firing pin and the hammer separate from each other. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, take the grip off, and go through, do a cleaning, look for places to oil. Then I'll install the new grip, I hope. Hopefully that goes on easily. This is the new grip anyways by Hogue. You'll see here, I don't really know until I get there. I got all 3 fingers on the grip, and this grip is supposed to give me a separation from the trigger guard. So when I'm holding this gun, I don't have my middle finger actually right against the trigger guard. There's quite a kick with these. You get a hot round in there. This is pretty good, pretty big recoil on this. Alright, well, what I'm going to do is go ahead and take it apart. I think I'll just let the camera run, and then later on I'll speed up or skip the parts that don't give you any information. What I'm going to do is clean the gun first. Then I'm going to look for places to oil it, and we'll get the grip off and try to clean in here as well. Get the new grip on, and then what I think I'm going to do, pretty sure I'm going to do, is put a little coat of polish on it. I'm not going to go wild with it, but I think I'd like to have it shine. And then at the end I'll probably put this product on. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Barricade. It's a rust preventative. Actually use this on the RV springs, and it does a pretty good job actually of going in, penetrating, and giving you some lubrication, and it stays there a long time. I sprayed this on once, and I think 2 months later I could still see where I sprayed it. So it's been a pretty good product. I'll put that on, just a nice coating on the top for anything to give it some more rust preventative qualities. Get started. This is less complicated than I thought. There's just a spring in here, which I assume is related to the hammer. Yeah. You can see how that this arm moves the spring down and compresses it. I don't see any access, probably without really knowing what you're doing, taking it apart up into the hammer area. So what I'm going to try to do is clean up as deeply as I can inside of the hammer area and down in here. Oil it up and put some of the barricade on it, and hopefully that helps me with the trigger pull or the hammer pull. I'm gonna check and see what if there's any moving part besides the spring. I noticed here on the end there's an arm within the spring that sticks out the bottom slightly when you pull the hammer back. Oh, that is tough. That had to be 25 pounds right there to try to pull it back. See, the arm comes down. This I don't know what this is, but it did not move. Alright, so I guess at this point I'll oil a few places and move on. Okay, what I like to use, I think I was a little heavy with the oil there, but I don't think I need any harm. I like to use Hops number 9. It has a weather guard in it, which helps with water, any water infiltration. Alright, looking at the new grip, you see that there's no place for this little steel cylinder that was helping to hold the former grip in place. This went between through this. This is actually a mono grip too, like the new grip. It's one piece with these plastic insets, but besides the screw from side to side, this was in there to help hold it. And there's nothing here to use that again. This works through. The new grip has a piece of hardware that goes at the bottom. You stick the grip in, and then a screw that came with this new grip you put in to hold it in place. So I can see now this is not going to be needed. There is this pin that looks like a copper pin. And I'll just take these and put those together later. I'll save that. Now look at the new instructions. This model is not included in the instructions. I'm going to start first looking at the end here. I really want to say that it goes in here with this. Oh, there it goes. It does go in there, I think. All right. A little bit of oil in there. Oops. I keep using way too much oil. Sure, the less oil the better, as long as you're getting lubricated. I'm gonna put that in there. Make sure this is taken care of. think you could hear that snap into place. Hopefully that hanging piece of hardware, hopefully you can put this in and screw into that. You see, actually, I guess I'm lucky. That went on pretty easily. Again, I need all three fingers on there. One thing I can see now is I'm 6'4", bigger person, and I have extraordinarily large limbs, large hands. Putting the finger down here for me would not be an option. I just feel it's dangling there. I don't have control of the gun, but that feels good for me. If you were someone even bigger than I, this might be a little problem for you, but I guess if you're bigger than I, you're not using a gun this small. Right, so the grip's on. I like it. It's supposed to be recoil grip. Handle recoil better. You can see now, my middle finger, there is no contact with the trigger guard. So hopefully when shooting this, there won't be any pain in the middle finger from that trigger guard coming back at my hand. Right, continue on with the inside of, try to clean the inside of the hammer. You can see this is hard to get into. And this is the area that is probably causing me a problem when I go to pull the hammer back. I'll just have to use the, right now I'll have to use the cloth in there the best I can, but I don't really have any other option. Cleaning better. You can see down, again, I'll probably have to take a picture and put it over in the video to show you what's going on here, but there's a lot of mechanisms down there related to the hammer. Let's see if we made any difference here. Well, that's a lot smoother. I don't know, maybe half to 2/3 of the pull I needed before to pull that hammer back. All right, I guess what I'll do now is clean out the barrel and the cylinder. I have this snake that I bought. These come in caliber or a range of calibers. There we go. So this one was for, I think, 38 Special 357. I don't remember exactly, but maybe some other calibers that are close to that, maybe 9mm. But within this snake, there's a copper, a fairly long section of copper brush, which when you pull through will aid in the cleaning process. So that's that. It's just a fabric. You pull that and take this little brass end. I'm going to drop it through, pull the thing through. I'll do the barrel and the 5 cylinders. This is a 5-shot. A lot of cleanse oil. I've got the cleanse oil to each cylinder, or each chamber. They all look good, shiny, free of any fouling. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. So I've done inside of here, I've done inside the hammer and the cylinder and the barrel. So I'm going to do the last part of the cleaning here. I'm going to clean everything out the inside of the where the cylinder rests, and inside I'll also do the extracting rod, which is sticking a little. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but one thing I noticed when I took the gun back out was what this extractor does is we get the rounds in there, push up, and that will take the rounds back out of the cylinder. This can get really dirty too, especially underneath. I'll go through. I mean, it doesn't look bad now. I'll go through and clean it up with cleanse oil on the rag. You know, it's just a pin at the end here. This actually compresses. It's pretty stiff. When it comes in, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. It goes in, it strikes this indentation right here. It goes in and helps lock it in place. That's pretty stiff too, so I'm going to get some oil, clean that, and then get some oil on it. It feels a lot better. It's moving more easily. And the cylinder's still clean, shining. Using the cleanse oil to clean the outside of the cylinder. Not perfect on some of these, but it's a lot better. And I also want to get clean. The face of the cylinder here. There's a hinge here where the cylinder rotates within the gun, so I'm just going to drop a drop of oil in there. Yeah, you definitely tell when you clean an oil gun. Everything moves a lot more easily. It feels like it's moving like it should. Alright, so finish the cylinder area. Finish the cylinder. I'm going to wipe around the inside with the cleanse oil. This is the, I'm not sure what it's called. Actually, I have no idea what it's called, but that's the pin that goes into each cylinder. I mean, into the cylinder, and then allows the gun to rotate. So I'll get some oil in there. And there's the firing pin. I'll obviously try to clean that up. Let me drop some oil in here too and wipe the excess away. That looks pretty good. With the Ruger, at least, I know with this gun, the owner's manual says you can dry fire it. Dry firing is firing without a round in the cylinder. By the way, that was still pretty tough. Dry fire this as many times as you want. I don't want to go overboard just in case there is a problem, but you see, it feels pretty good in double action. Double action is when you pull the trigger and without pulling the hammer back. There'll be a lot harder trigger pull with this. But any like self-defense situation, really, that's all. Might be the only option you have is a shooting double action. Now these are also single action. That's when pull the hammer back. You may have noticed, I'll do it again. Pull the hammer back. The trigger pulls through. Boy, that is tough. Trigger pulls almost back to the back of the trigger guard. And what that does is give you a very light trigger pull. So if you're trying to shoot at something and we're able to pull this back into single action, it's probably 1/3, let's say on average, of the trigger pull. The amount of the pounds of pressure you need to apply to get the trigger to go back. A lot lighter. Alright, well, I've got inside the cylinder, obviously inside the grip, inside the extractor. So what I'm going to do now is just do a cleaning on the outside. Well, actually, no, I never had oil on the inside, I don't believe. And this arm. Maybe I'll cycle that a few times. That's fine for double action. I need to practice, but it doesn't pull too far off. And work to do with my, I need to practice shooting a lot more on it. So I'll just wipe off the outside with a cleanse oil. I just want to mention I'm no gun expert. I've been around them most of my life. But there may be other people that have better ideas for you. This has served me well. I bought this Flitz polish. Haven't used it yet. I'll go around the outside that you can see him. Maybe put a nice shine on it. The best polish I've ever used was Simichrome. I looked online, and that's for a small tube, but maybe $20. So, I mean, since this is just a cosmetic thing that I like to do occasionally, I bought the cheap stuff for $7 for a bigger bottle. So we'll see how it works. It seems okay. It's really an unnecessary step. This doesn't look like it's a mirror surface by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. I think I'm going to let this sit for a while. I'll come back and I'm going to put on a layer of protection with the barricade. Probably see this polish. I think it's fairly streaky. Debatable whether or not I would use it again. Simichrome is a lot better. I mean, this will make it almost like a mirror surface. I mean, that will make it like a mirror surface. Yeah. And big fan, streaky. Seems like it's kind of leaves a fair amount of residue. All in all, it's not that bad. I'm just gonna now wipe it down. And this barricade seems to be cleaning it up. Alright, I'll have to keep wiping this down. It's going to keep leaking oil, and oil is going to keep coming out from the inside. Yeah, not bad. And it's a pocket gun, concealed carry. I'm not taking it to any shows or anything like that, but all moving more freely. That feels like new. Trigger, that was okay. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever use it. And it's definitely still tight. Alright, that's going to complete this video, and hopefully it was some value to you. I still have the effects of COVID pretty bad. I ended up going to the hospital for 9 days. We're hoping to travel fairly soon. Hopefully that works out for us. So we'll be heading down south, maybe hit 5 national parks, I think. Visit family, living the dream. Okay, there you go. Well, thanks for watching.